Okay, we're gonna start with the squat, and we're gonna start with our 10 reps of a body weight squat. I'll face this way. Okay, so proper technique for this is your feet should be about shoulder width apart, your toes facing forward or a little bit outward if you want. And when you bend, your butt should go back and your chest should stay up. And you should go either 90 degrees or lower at the angle in your leg. And coaching cue. A coaching cue for this could be like either adjusting their leg position, like if they're standing like this, they need to be wider, shoulder width apart. If their toes are pointing way out or way in, that could mess them up. You could fix that. Or if they're not squatting low enough, another way to like get them to understand where their butt should touch is they can get like a bench or something and stand in front of it and squat till they feel the bench and then stand up so they can get an idea of where they should be squatting to. Common errors, that goes back to like position of your feet and legs and depth. A progression of this could be a goblet squat. So we can pretend this is your weight and you hold out your chest and squat. Or you could do eccentric focus. So you could do 1, 2, 3, 4 up. And a regression could be just going back to the bench and getting them to squat, sit, wait, and then stand back up. Now we're moving on to split squats. I'm gonna demo 10 of these, 5 on each leg to start. Okay, so proper technique for these, you should have your front foot right in front of your hips, your toes should be facing straight in front of you, and your back leg should be open, and your toe should be like just your toe on the ground, not your heel, and that foot and knee should also be straight, so your hips should be facing forward. And then when you squat, you want your front knee to reach 90 degrees, your bottom knee should not touch the ground, and then stand back up. Coaching cue for this could be just explaining to them, to your client or whoever, their foot positioning and leg positioning, and you should be like making sure that all the angles are right and that their feet are facing the right direction, and that when they squat down, their legs are in the right position. They're not like this or anything awkward. Common errors could be someone getting their feet too close together like this, or way too wide like that. Also, feet and hips could be an issue. Like, so normally you want your hips straight. Someone's hips may be like this and like trying to do it like that. One progression could be doing your rear foot elevated. So you put your foot on something higher and then you do the same motion. Or it could be front foot elevated, but if you do front foot elevated, you want much lower, like 3-5 inches, instead of your rear foot, which should be about a foot off the ground at least. A regression could be your client stopping at the bottom so they have time to recover. So they put their knee down, wait, and then stand back up. Next is Romanian deadlift, or RDL, I don't have a weight, so I'm using this yoga mat. And we're just gonna start with our 10 reps. Okay, so for proper technique, you want your feet to be about shoulder width apart, pretty narrow, and you're gonna have weights in your hands, normally like this, but that's kind of awkward with this mat. So you're gonna have your weight and you drop straight down, bit hinging at the hips, a little bend in the knee to about mid shin length, and then standing back up, squeezing your glutes at the top. A coaching cue for this could be if someone's not hinging, tell them to pretend like they're sticking their butt out for like a picture or something. I don't know what you guys do in your free time. So you want to make sure they're hinging instead of going like that. That's a different thing. So you want to hinge and stand straight up. Also make sure that they're squeezing at the top, kind of like almost moving their hips forward a little to squeeze, instead of like going here and going back down. Common errors kind of goes back to what I was saying about like hinging and squeezing at the top. Also could be like their foot placement. There are like different versions of this obviously, but like for RDL, most of the time your feet are pretty narrow and you don't want someone like doing wide leg like that, or like even like right together. Okay, so a progression of this could be single leg. So you'll have the same amount of weight or a little less depending, and you're gonna hold it in one hand like this. Actually, let me get this. You're gonna hold it in one hand, or you can hold both, and then you bend down and do the RDL with one leg, and you do one leg like that. And then a regression could be just no weight, just getting the technique right, just make it a little easier for people who've never done this before, and just stand like you would be holding a weight and go down and come back up. No. Next is glute bridge on just the floor. So we're gonna start with 10 reps. Okay. So that's just body weight. Normally you would do it with a weight placed on your hips and do it like that. That's, I just forgot to hold my weight, you know? So proper technique for this, you're gonna have your feet about shoulder width apart, your back flat on the ground, hands by your side, and then you're gonna push through your feet and squeeze your butt at the top, and then come back down. You wanna make sure your feet aren't too close to your bottom or too far away, because you won't get the same effect unless they're just right about a 45-degree angle at your knee. So some coaching cues for this could be to make sure that they're going all the way to the top and down. They're not just like half-assing it, you know, going like halfway. Or, yeah, you also want to make sure that they're squeezing at the top. A coaching cue for this could be like to tell them to make sure to tell them to act like they're squeezing a penny between their butt cheeks so it won't fall out at the top. Yeah, you want to make sure their feet are in the right spot. That kind of covers common errors. A progression for this could be keeping your weight and doing single leg. So you can either like put your leg on something, or you can just hold it up and do the same movement just on one leg. And a regression could be no weight and just going at it regular, like body weight. That's all.